When we're learning Spanish, we have to work along 4 separate tracks simultaneously. There's the vocabulary track, the grammar track, then part of grammar but a separate track itself is the verb conjugation track, and finally there's the real life track, talking to people and watching, reading, and listening to stuff. To learn Spanish as effectively and as quickly as possible, we need to progress down all 4 tracks at the same time, but not at the same speed. In fact, that's one reason why I separate them into 4 tracks. The most important advice I can give you is don't let yourself get stuck completely because you're stuck on any one track. Advice that I need to remember myself when making Spanish videos. If you're having a hard time getting all the irregular present tense conjugations down, which I understand, that's no reason to stop plowing ahead on the vocab, grammar, and real life tracks. The cool thing is, progressing down one track helps us with all the other tracks. If you're stuck on irregular present tense conjugation and switch to vocab, grammar, or real life stuff, all along the way, you're bound to see plenty of irregular present tense conjugations. So when you go back to irregular present tense conjugation, it'll be at least a little easier than it had been when you left it. And once you really get those irregular conjugations down, that'll make all the other grammar, conjugation, and real life stuff easier. Bottom line, they're separate tracks, but progress down one track helps us progress down all the other tracks. Well, it's been quite a while since you and I have progressed down the verb conjugation track together. Way back in the day, I made videos about regular present tense conjugation and videos about regular past tense conjugation. I think it's time we cover regular future tense conjugation. What do you think? Hola, soy Jordan, and this is a Spanish Quickie. Fast, easy Spanish lessons from somebody who speaks your language. I'm back to making videos on a regular basis again, but you can't trust Facebook or YouTube to tell you every time I upload something. So for sure, like my page or subscribe to my channel, but the only way you can be sure not to miss anything is to sign up at SpanishDude.com/free-updates. I'll notify you every time I upload a video. Now I need to tell you something important right off the bat. If you've already dealt with present tense and past tense conjugation, the hardest part is behind you. No other tense is even close to as hard as the present tense or past tense. If I could go back in time when I made videos about present and past tense conjugation, I would have stressed that way more. I would have told you, don't worry, they're not all like this. It gets so much easier from here. I can't stress enough how much easier all the other tenses are, except the subjunctive, which I consider an entirely different world. With the future tense specifically, I have tons of good news for you. First and foremost, in the Spanish future tense, there's only one regular conjugation pattern. So in the future tense, we apply the same endings to regular AR verbs, regular ER verbs, and regular IR verbs. That's crazy. One regular pattern for the whole tense. The second piece of good news is, in the future tense, most verbs are regular, way more than are regular in the present or preterite tenses. According to the list I'm using of the 100 most common verbs, in the present tense, 57% are regular. In the preterite tense, 62% are regular. In the imperfect tense, a whopping 97% are regular, and in the future tense, 87% of the 100 most common verbs are regular. In the future tense, even words like ser, estar, and ir, the 3 enemigos, are regular. Heck, in the future tense, even the irregulars are easy. Most verbs that are irregular in the future tense follow one of 2 irregular patterns, and really, one of those patterns is the same as the other with one slight spelling change. And the third piece of good news is, to conjugate in the future tense, all we have to do is add the regular future tense endings to the end of the infinitive form of the verb, instead of having to remove the original endings and replace them with the new endings. That makes it way easier to recognize when a conjugated verb is a verb when we're first getting started, and from which verb a conjugated verb comes from, because in the future tense, conjugated verbs contain the infinitive form of the verb. They contain the original form of the verb. For example, hablar, an AR verb that means to talk or to speak. I like to start by putting the infinitive form of the verb at the top of the chart. So let's put hablar up here, then we also put hablar in all 6 of these boxes. Instead of removing the AR ending from each box though, we simply add the regular future tense endings to the end of hablar. It goes has, a, hemos, es, on, with an accent mark on the first letter of each ending, except the first person plural box, no accent mark on the nosotros ending. I will speak is hablaré. You will speak is hablarás. He, she, it will speak is hablará. That's also you will speak in the formal usted form. We will speak is hablaremos. You will speak, plural, only said in Spain, is hablaréis. And they will speak is hablarán. That's also you will speak, plural, in the ustedes form. Pretty easy, right? And if you know the regular present tense and preterite tense endings, all these regular future tense endings should look familiar. The three future tense endings right here in the boot shape, as, a, on, are the same as the regular present tense AR endings from the same three spots, as, a, on. The only difference is, in the future tense, there's an accent mark on the first letter of each ending. Then, these future tense endings, the top two on the right, hemos, es, are the same as the regular present tense ER endings from these same two spots, hemos, es. Zero differences. And this future tense ending, the yo form, singular first person, an E with an accent mark, is the same as the regular preterite AR ending from the same spot, an E with an accent mark. Again, zero differences. The cool thing about this is, if you already have the present and preterite patterns down really well, it'll be pretty easy to learn the future tense patterns. You basically already know them, and your mind already associates each of these endings with the box it belongs to on the chart, to some degree at least. I've been telling you since the beginning, the better you learn one conjugation pattern, the easier it will be to learn every other conjugation pattern. But if you just kinda learn them, the more you learn, the more confusing they become. And remember, the future tense endings for AR verbs are the same as the endings for ER and IR verbs. Let's look at the verb deber, which means to have to owe, or should, among other things. We put deber up here and in all 6 boxes, but we don't have to remove the ER ending in each box. We just add the regular future tense endings. As, a, hemos, es, an. I will owe is deberé. You will owe is deberás. He, she, it will owe is deberá. We will owe is deberemos. You will owe, plural, Spain only, is deberéis. And they will owe is deberán. Now an IR verb, seguir, which means to follow or to continue, among other things. We put seguir up here and in all 6 boxes, then we add the regular future tense endings. As, a, hemos, es, an. I will follow is seguiré. You will follow is seguirás. He, she, it will follow is seguirá. We will follow is seguiremos. You will follow, plural, is seguiréis. And they will follow is seguirán. The only tricky part is these regular future tense endings are a mix of AR endings and ER endings. So in the future tense, for AR verbs, some of the endings start with the letter E. And for ER and IR verbs, some of the endings start with the letter A. This is really no big deal though, I promise. How cool is this? And like I said, even the 3 enemigos are regular in the future tense. Here are the future tense conjugations of ser and estar, both of which mean to be. I will be is seré or estaré. You will be is serás or estarás. He, she, it will be is será or estará. We will be is seremos or estaremos. You will be, plural, is seréis or estaréis. And they will be is serán or estarán. Man, that's nice. Last one, here's the verb ir, which means to go. I will go is iré. You will go is irás. He, she, it will go is irá. We will go is iremos. You will go, plural, is iréis. Yes, like iréis, kind of. And they will go is irán. Hello to my brothers and sisters in Iran. At some point in the future, I'll create a conjugation bootcamp, future and conditional tense edition to go along with the present and past tense editions I currently offer. In the meantime though, I've put together a pretty awesome and free future tense practice package for you that'll help you nail down these regular future tense conjugations today, right now. To download the future tense practice package, go to SpanishDude.com/future. Find the link that says download the free future tense practice package, enter your email address, and within a few minutes, you'll receive a word list with the 25 most common verbs that are regular in the future tense, a blank conjugation sheet so you can use the conjugation strategy to memorize the heck out of these future tense endings, a conjugation key with the future tense conjugations of all 25 words from the word list all in one place so you can easily check yourself and make sure you're conjugating correctly. And finally, there's a practice worksheet along with the answer key. Oh, and I might have included a super chart with all the charts I showed you in this video on one page so you can see the similarities between them all. Remember, the better you memorize one conjugation pattern, the easier it will be to memorize every other conjugation pattern. Go download the future tense practice package right now at SpanishDude.com/future and memorize these regular future tense endings so you never have to worry about them again. Then I'll see you next time. Hasta luego. Adios, amigo.